welcome to episode 184 of New Nest Podcast. We're back after an impromptu week off. Continues apologies to the listeners. Schedules are tight at the moment.
Too much jubilation.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. When you've got a 4-day weekend, you know, people flying all over the place doing weird stuff, so hard to make it work. But anyway, we're back now, and there's a new gameplay patch, 7.31D.
Correct.
Marcy's in captain's mode. There's a bunch of battle report stuff you can do with shards. You can block like 1 million players, blah, blah, blah. We'll be talking about that as well as our games and all the rest of it. Marco, welcome to the pod. How you doing?
Very good. I'm happy with the patch because I feel like these letter patches, 3.1, it's a D as well. D, I mean, usually they get more and more insignificant, and you get to E and F and it's like 3 lines of 1 damage change and all this. But this patch actually feels, to me, significant, and I feel like several heroes I have an affinity to have been improved to a non-trivial level that make me actually interested in a mini patch for once.
Is one of them Pudge getting base damage by 3?
I mean, it's not just that. His Flesh Sheet one, that's been like giga-boomed.
Yeah.
Giga-buffed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, we'll get into that.
One of many.
Adam, likewise. Welcome to the pod. How you doing?
I'm good. Played 2 games this week after a 14-day break.
Wow.
14, that is unheard of.
That's dark.
Unheard of, yeah. What were you doing in your life? How did you fill the empty void?
My girlfriend came into town, and I didn't turn on my computer the entire time she was here.
Wow,
it was basically...
That's mental fortitude, right?
That's insane discipline. Yeah. Wow. Alright. Well, I guess how have games been? Post-patch, pre-patch, or otherwise. I'm tempted, should I just kick it off myself? Should I just jump in the queue rather than going last? Just muscle my way to the front and just talk about my games.
Mm-hmm.
I had one game today, one post-patch game. Interestingly, I played Storm Spirit, which, you know, the null change we'll get to, he's not very happy about that. But I played the Storm, kind of... I'm glad we won because it's a game where if I'd lost, I would have been really frustrated because I just hate playing against Invoker mid who just AFKs with a Midas, and it's like the snooziest gameplay ever on Invoker, and yet they're like top net worth flying because they're just AFK, and I just hate it when that works out. It just annoys me while I'm flying around getting double kills. But anyway, we won. We had a Sven that was just... You know when a Sven's just so redonkulously farmed that he just like one-shots any hero like in stun? It was one of those games where he had like Daedalus, Mask of Madness, like super early, and it was a grim one for the enemy team. So that was a nice win. Beyond that, I'm actually 6-1 in my last 7, so just continuing to fly. Won an Invoker game.
What?
You'll be happy to hear about that. Got an Invoker out and got the win. 9-6-24, doing bits.
Please no.
No. Voker's actually in the pool.
Wait, was I in that game?
No, you weren't in that game.
I was not, okay.
No.
I was about to take credit for it, but it's fine.
We had a Chaos Knight with 32 kills, but that's not why we won. We won because I was playing Invoker, so I take full credit for that.
32 kills.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Necro, can't lose. Got a couple of Necros in, and that's just free win. And then not much else to say. Got Faceless Void carry win in. I think you were in that game, Marco. Yeah, you were. You played Lena with 11 deaths. That's pretty embarrassing. Had to carry that one.
Oh my. I'll dare you.
Marco.
So yeah, that was against the AA that had like Ags really early, core AA. That was a bit annoying. Yeah, good times. That's about all I've got to report, really. How have your games been, Marco?
My Lena is 8 wins, 1 loss in the last 9, so...
I love the cherry pick stats in the game section.
What? Ask me what my win rate is in my last 9 Lena games. I mean...
What is it?
It's 8 wins, 1 loss.
Wow.
That's like some big number.
Yeah.
last 10 games, alright, it's 8 wins, 2 losses, 80% win rate, but phenomenal. I've basically solved Lena now. I've got, if you build the right item build and play in the right way, game's just free win.
Yeah.
Which I'm proving it to be the case.
Is 11 deaths playing the right way?
Alright, fuck this. Let me get some stats out from this game. Alright, 11 deaths, right, it's kind of a bit lot, yeah. 61k hero damage, not too bad. 50% more than our POS 1, that's fine. What else we got? Yeah, this was a crazy stressful game. Won't go into it. So a general comment I've got. It's dramatic, and you might think I'm a crazy man, but I'm looking towards the ranked button.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm contemplating? Do I know why? Well, DotA buff this month, 41 matches, 68% win rate. So they're 2 significant numbers. There's a lot of matches played, so the cobwebs are off.
Yeah.
It's a 68% win rate. I'm crushing. And I granted this party, there is a number of solo unranked, but a lot of party. But 68% win rate in party, I'm on fire. And it might be time for ranked again. I did a tester, POS 5 unranked, because every game in these 41 games, they're all POS 1, POS 2 exclusively. Apart from, I played a POS 5 Disruptor 3 days ago because I was like, let's test the waters. Am I ready for POS 5 ranked? Whip out a Disruptor, just disgusting plays, left, right, centre, just unbelievable game impact. The score looks a bit knack, I got 10 deaths, but a lot of those are like trade-in for 3 kills kind of thing, so don't you take it. Unbelievable plays, left, right, centre. Disruptor's just got buffed again. I think I'm ready for the ranked.
Wow.
So
that's exciting for the pod and for me and Adam.
Yeah,
that's a content mill right there.
It is. Honestly, I got to the point where I saw the games, I was like, when you've played so many 5-stack unranked, and you're churning through like Lena win after Lena win, Pudge win after Pudge win, just churning through greens, gets to a point where you're like, let's get some challenge back in life. Let's get back to like a 50% win rate arena rather than 70%. So anyway, that might happen. To go back to some specific games, so going back to Adam's tier list, the outplay tier, for the first time in a long time, I had an outplay game. Like, legit, old school. This is like 2013, 2014 level of action that Adam can appreciate, but Stan can't. So more context, Stan doesn't appreciate my mid. Stan thinks I'm not a mid player because he doesn't know me as a mid player. So like, I'll whip out a voice spirit, Stan just thinks I'm shit. Got no respect from Stan for a mid play. Anyway, this game, sadly not Stan's on it, but I'll tell you the stats.
I mean, I've seen, to be fair, it's not just, there is some evidence to back up that claim. I've seen some things from your mid. I mean, I've seen some great things as well, but
you've seen some bad stuff.
I feel like it's like Sumail. I feel like your arc is like Sumail, and I never saw Sumail in his prime, so I just think of him as like an average player.
Yeah, no appreciation for the like all man tackle mid player kind of stuff. So anyway, it came out for the first time in 5 years. So I was puck mid. The enemy like matchmaking often has one immortal on each team. The enemy immortal is quap mid, so I'm puck mid. This is like
hype.
This is hype. This is balance. This is like head on head. I've never schooled so hard. Not in the 1v1, just the game. Like the 1v1, I win the mid, but I'm not crushing it like 2k advantage. It's more just thereafter. So I'll tell you the item timings: 11-minute Witchblade, 19-minute Lincolns. At which point the Quop's got a 15-minute Orchid. So I've got Witchblade Lincolns. Quop's got an Orchid at 20. So like sick item pickup. They got a Quop Orchid, Rasta with a blink initiative. The Lincolns was on point. 23-minute blink, 29-minute Octarine, and a Boots of Travel as well. So by 29 minutes, I'm like 5 slotted. 22 kills, 2 deaths, 14 assists. Just rampant. It's a 35-minute game, so it's like kill or assist every 30-40 seconds for the entire game. Hero damage more than twice of RPA. Just absolute, like, there was some clips where it's just 1v3, 1v4 kind of stuff. Got Octarine, the cooldown reduction is just a joke. Like, no one can touch you. It's just absolute outplay on a level I've not done for like 5 years. So that felt good.
Nice. Are you going to queue mid, Rent?
You know, I fucking hate mid though. So it's too. I don't know. My pulse fly is too good. Might not be able to do mid.
Yeah, fair play.
But anyway, nice. Some donking games. Played quite a lot, honestly. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Sounds good. Adam, you've played a couple post-patch games, but how have your games been this week?
I played one pre-patch, one post-patch. Gyrocopter 3, Huskar 3, 2 wins.
Ooh.
So that's nice. Just classic Magic build gyro shenanigans, which is very fun. The play against a lineup that can't kill the rocket or kill the missile. So the enemy lineup is a Ursa 1 mid Shadow Shaman, 3 Death Prophet, 4 Rubik, 5 Lich. Nobody can kill a missile in that lineup. So It's just like free reign to just cause havoc. And then finally got a 3 Huskar win. I've been wanting to get like a not mid Huskar Ags build win in. And
what's the build? Rush Ags? Or?
I went Armlet Treads Ags.
Nice.
And there's like taunt things. I won't say it's good. The enemy team had a Doom 3 that went Midas, a mid Medusa, and a 1 Spectre. So the reason we won wasn't because of this Huskar. That's for sure. We just got a free game for an Alk to farm. And then I tanked like multiple Dooms, which had no business going on me because I don't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think an Ags Doom would kill a Huskar with like an armlet on because you get like it breaks the Berserker's Blood or whatever, but we had a Shadow Demon. So Disruption plus Demonic Cleanse is like enough to keep a Huskar alive through all that. It's pretty epic.
Demonic Cleanse? Is that the shot?
Yeah, it must be. Where you
I
can
think we went through that one, yeah.
Yeah, you can like use it. It's like an opposite of the ulti.
Yeah.
You get a burst heal at the end, and it's like cleansing you throughout. So I was like, hey, look, I actually can live through a Doom and get doomed again because the guy has Refresher. So those are the 2 games.
Nice.
And then this battle report. But
yeah, you need.
Am I the only battle report corner? Because like,
yeah.
Does Marco? You don't have access to one?
No, you need the Dota Plus feature thing.
Yikes! And then so Stan doesn't have Dota Plus either, right?
No.
And even if he did have it, it'd be in Chinese.
Yeah, so I won't be able to read it anyway.
So.
Yeah, rip.
All right, well, just come on down to come dine with me's battle report corner.
Nice.
It's a solo segment. Maybe this will behoove you to buy it.
Nice, advertising for Valve.
Right. So this is March 1st to June 8th. And the first thing, well, first off, it plays a nice little animation with some music, and you're like, wow, look, battle report. I wonder what this is. And actually, so I played 142 games, which is not very much.
That's in this season, but
yeah,
right. But who even knows when the season started and ended?
No, it said March 1st.
March 1st, okay.
To June 8th. So, what, 3 months? You know, it's like just a game a day, game a half a day. It's not. Well, maybe that's okay. I don't know. But at first it loads in. Your featured hero. Do you want to guess my featured hero?
Gyro.
Stan?
Ooh, featured hero.
It's probably like most successful hero, I would think.
In that time frame, March to June. Ooh, most successful in that time frame. Lich?
Crystal Maiden.
Wow.
Really?
12 and 6. 66% win rate. And then it says,
Everlasting.
I had a 72% lane win rate. Pog. That's
Very strong.
20% higher on average versus players of similar skill. So, I think Marco was blessed with my Crystal Maiden a couple times.
Oh, yeah. It was dreamy.
20 assists on average, 67% win rate, 5 win streak, 1,000 hero damage, or 1,000 tower damage on average, which is 400 more than the average Crystal Maiden. Let's go.
Hitting buildings. Objective gaming on CM.
Yep. I thought the lane win rate was interesting, though. It says a lane is considered one if the heroes on one team have greater combined experience and gold than the opposing heroes after 10 minutes. That's what they consider a lane one.
Interesting. I think that's generally fair.
Yep.
Did you see the thing on Reddit about how CM now has less starting HP and armor than a melee creep? Literally.
It's true.
How funny is that?
That's so funny.
So the only difference is that the creep is level 3 and Crystal Maiden's level 1. But the point stands. I definitely got to the patch and was like, why does this hero have the least health and least movement speed? Why must they punish you so much for being out of position?
Yeah.
But they buffed her 2 other spells, so it's fine. It's a net positive. And I was going double bracer hard build anyways, so what's 1 strength? Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, well, then it goes into your role. What's my featured role?
3?
Offlane.
Nice.
Correct. So we got 10 game win streak on offlane.
Nice.
3-0 on Gyro, 2-0 on Chaos Knight, 2-0 on Sand King. Those are my undefeated heroes, I guess. But 77% win rate on offlane.
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's like definitely the highest I've ever had, for sure. For like 3 months of offlane to have that type of a win rate, why wasn't I doing that every game?
Did it show you your featured heroes for the role?
Yeah, for the role. It's Gyro, Sand King, and Chaos Knight.
Cool.
And then they also have little badges, so my win streak and win rate, I guess those are really high, so you have like this purple ribbon with the gold medal, and then like some of the more middling stats are silver, and then like 10 average denies is a bronze. And then overall performance, 76 and 66, 53.5% win rate. Fastest win was 15 minutes and 24 seconds. Played 65 heroes. Longest game was 66 minutes and 26 seconds. My lane win rate overall was 60%. I'd take that over that sample size. And then cool. I think one of the biggest things was that I think this is probably the first patch ever I've had a higher win rate on Dire than Radiant.
Wow. Dire God mode.
I had a 55% win rate on Dire and a 51% win rate on Radiant. That's pretty significant, I think. And usually it's flipped. If not flipped and a greater margin between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think classically, if I just have DotA buff up, yeah, I have a 55.5% win rate on Radiant and a 49% win rate on Dire. So, I don't know.
Is Dire better? I don't even know.
I don't think I only played 150 games,
Right.
so
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty cool. And then they give you shards, and then they give you like this analysis tab that you can do a lot of like. It's just a fancy Excel spreadsheet where you can like filter everything,
Right.
and do more in-depth analyses. But I don't know, for having Dota Plus anyways, this is a nice little bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it better or worse than Dota Buff stats and records?
I think they're different.
They're different.
I think they're like doing different things. Since this is presumably, I don't know how often these battle reports come out, but it's more of a time frame thing. I mean, this looks better. Like, it's fancier looking, but I think Dota Buff has more, or Open Dota probably has more, like, data to parse through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting one. Maybe I'll have to purchase just to see the battle report stats, get a cheeky month in or something. One thing that's interesting...
Chinese.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting, I suppose we're just getting into the whole patch now, is that they give the weekly game mode. I think that's quite cool. Because it means that you'll consistently be able to play an alternative game mode to all pick.
Yeah, but isn't the only incentive Dota Shard, which...
Oh, no one cares. The incentive
is...
the incentive is that the player pool will be higher, so you're more likely to get a game.
But the player pool's higher. Why? Because they're meant to incentivize you with shards.
No, the player pool's higher because they're, rather than being shall we play all random, shall we play deathmatch, shall we play ability
they
draft?
don't give you a choice.
It's just one game mode of the weekend spotlight game mode. So basically, if you want to play an alternative game mode,
you have to play that.
You have to play that.
So it's ranked, unranked, as in AP, and then one other choice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
So I quite like that. I think that's cool.
Man, those people must be crushed.
Which people?
Oh, no, you can still... Wait. Random draft, all random deathmatch, ability draft. What game mode's getting taken out?
No, you can all play them. I'm just saying.
I thought you were saying the Spotlight game was the only alternative mode you can do. So these people that only play ability draft are like, it's not ability draft weekend. I can't play, and it's just damn.
No, one's highlighted. It's like back in the day, when you used to play games like Halo or COD. I had the same thing where they had all the game modes, but if you want to play the selected weekend one, it's just a convention that people will play that, and that's the game that you're playing for the weekend. It'll be the same with this. The player pool so say for the moment it's ability draft. The player pool will be higher because people will be it's right there in front of my face, telling me to play ability draft. So I'll do it, as opposed to if they're all just listed like normal, the non-AP player base will be split amongst them.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm more likely to play it. If all deathmatch is there or all random is there, I'll definitely play it. Maybe am I interested in playing it? It basically just puts the option in front of your face every time you go to queue.
Yeah, so it's promoting it more.
Yeah. So that's that.
Promoting Dota 2, promoting game modes.
Incline.
Who would have thought?
Promoting it to people already in the game. Yeah, that's something. They're almost there. Is there anything else before we get to balance that we want to bring up? Obviously, this battle report stuff, which is interesting. There is some other bits and bobs. Everyone can buy
the immortal stuff.
Yeah, what is that? It's just in client. There is some quality of life changes to in client. When you click on heroes, it gives a drop down menu next to spells that you can upgrade with immortal items, and also the icons for ag spells are there next to the heroes, so it's a bit easier to navigate. Some bits like that.
Yeah, you don't have to. I guess if you own the item that gives the special ability animations, you can toggle the icon and stuff.
Yeah.
To where you still get the benefit of the cool spell, but you don't have to be locked into that cosmetic. I think.
Is that what it is? You can get the effect without the cosmetic.
Yeah,
I think if you own the cosmetic, you can wear whatever you want and still get the cool spell effect.
Ah, that's cool. Okay.
Which is good for me because I've been basically using the same Crystal Maiden stuff for like years because I want the different spells.
Interesting. That's not what I thought it was, but that's probably cooler. That's like better than what I thought.
Easier to play dress up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, very cool. Should we just fly into what everyone cares about, which is which heroes are good and which heroes are bad, and why Marco thinks this insignificant patch is significant?
Very significant.
Well, there's great significance.
It's mega.
Is the significance clip builder?
Oh, yeah, we need
Clip builder.
that.
I actually don't know what it is.
You joke, but that's got to be like. I mean, we can put so
the
many more
replay
clips into
Yeah.
into our pod channel because
Yes.
it was so annoying to have to go into like Streamable,
Yeah, true.
or
yeah.
use OBS and to like rip this clip,
Oh,
upload it to Streamable. It's like takes 20 minutes, and then you have
No.
to do like the replay mode to even like do the stuff and time it out right. It's just awful.
yeah. So I've got that outplayed game summary highlights where it records your screen when there's kills, assists, deaths. And I use that for highlight clips and recap. But now with this new feature, it means you can half speed, 0.5 times speed, go on Stan's hero control and like watch him mess up or something, clip it.
Watch me miss a spear on Mars.
He's getting stuck in the trees or something, pathing's just all over the place. And now you can really fine tune.
Now we can really flame each other.
The flame
It's going to be so
clips.
much better for our WhatsApp and Signal groups where you guys just go at it and post clips and like who was right, who was wrong. Now you don't have to go through all this.
They
makes it
are
much
missing. It's easier to get the DotA clip, but I do think it's magical having the voice comms.
Yeah, the voice
for
comms is great.
outplayed.
That is true.
The voice comms are fucking funny sometimes.
Yeah.
So DotA client needs a way to somehow record us against our consent and then use it in these clips. So
Dota just needs to have voice, like a party. Imagine there was a party feature in Dota. We wouldn't need to use Discord.
like why do you have to rely on a third party to speak to your? I mean, there is voice comms in game, but no one uses it. Yeah, because it must be shit.
Well, what are you going to do? But it's because you can't talk outside of game.
Yeah.
So like the game would end, and then you'd be like, "What?"
Which makes no sense. Like you queue in a party and then you join in a party. Like surely there'd be a way to have a party voice chat consistently.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah,
Anyway.
we should get. I'm interested to see how easy it is to export the clips.
Yeah.
Hopefully that is kind of easy and accessible and not a faff or whatever. But if so, then yeah, I probably will be keen to record some clips and deep dive some team fights.
Let's be real. I have a highlight every game worth posting to our Discord, but just the sheer annoyance of the process of ripping the clip is keeping me from doing it. So now,
Highlights are coming.
every D word, that clip's coming.
Let's talk about some gameplay updates then. First one is Marcy finally in Captain's mode. That is quite exciting. A couple of nerfs there. Some Roche changes where you hit wards now, but you one-shots them, which is a bit weird.
That's just to stop the Shadow Shaman.
It doesn't feel like it even stops it though, because you've got enough people and bodies to tank the Roche hits.
No, it was like the solo cheese. Like you could solo him at level 7 or
Okay, to stop solo cheese, fine. Still feels like it's awfully fast as a team play, non-cheese.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. There's that. It's solely just for the thing where you would drop them, and you would just you would just auto attack and drag the Roche out of the base or out of the pit, and the wards would still hit them. And you just do that over and over again and just solo it.
There's quite a few changes. I mean, it's not a massive patch, but there is quite a few changes. I don't know if we want to like do a sort of line by line thing or just jump around. But let's have a word on the items first. Is there anything significant here? I mean, I'm looking at Null
There's
Talisman.
a large one.
Yeah, I feel like the Null change is pretty big. I mean, obviously BKB as well. But
Null is solely for one hero.
Yeah, so now Storm's sad and Odie's happy. Is that that's the top line?
So I'm glad because that was so obnoxious.
Mana cost reduction.
It was so obnoxious. Like, it should not have worked that way. It felt like a mistake from the beginning. It was just like, why is this allowed? Why is this 500 gold item better than Kaya?
Yeah, and it's just any time there's a hero that's buying 5 Null Talismans, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So they need to change that. I'll be interested to see if Odie is buying 5 now, so if it's a problem in a different way. But Odie's kind of bad, so it doesn't matter that much. Is the cooldown increase to Black King Bar from 75 to 90? How significant is that, do we think?
Big, I think. Especially late game.
It's big, but I also feel like you just still get it first item.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you can't get to the second one as fast. And then, like, in the late game, it's 90 seconds for 5 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So it's, like, way worse.
I think you still get it because it's just such a good item. Just for the active is still the same. And it just gives you it gives you the ability to play Dota in a way that no other item does, obviously. So you still get it, you still rush it in the current patch if you're good at the game, or if you're in a pro game. But you can play around it more. He used his BKB. It's an extra 15 seconds to like abuse the cooldown.
Do you think Black King Bar is as strong as it's ever been?
Not in a normative sense, but like I guess people maybe use it better than ever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mean like balance wise. Because there's been different iterations of the item, but do you think the Magic community is more important now than it has ever been? It seems like people are buying it really fast.
Yeah, it seems like it's getting quicker and quicker, for sure.
Because thinking back to the old days, the TI3 days, where you could buy BKB a second time, and it'd be a 10-second BKB again. Could you imagine, like, if that was still a thing? And if so, when would people buy it? Would they just buy a third item after the first? They'd buy a BKB.
Yeah.
They get this other item, and they're like, okay, time to get my 10-second BKB again.
Yeah, it's such a weird item. I mean, it's just so necessary and so integral to the game, but then also kind of just by design is OP. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. Hard to balance, like hard to get it right.
It's gone through so many different iterations.
Yeah.
Like the duration going down the more you use it. Cooldowns changed. They tied the avatar, the Magic Community avatar to your hero to where you couldn't buy a second one and get a refresh on the cooldown.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't sell it at one point.
I wonder what they thought of if they changed the duration from 9 to 8 to begin with. I mean, that's obviously a straight up.
Oh yeah, it's not even 10 anymore. Yeah, 9 to.
But yeah, because obviously they wanted to nerf it. Obviously, it's picked a lot. Very important. Okay, 15 more seconds cooldown. I do think makes a decent difference. I think there are a lot of fights where you will have a mid laner somewhat oppressively fighting constantly, and that uptime is so good, but now it just puts the brakes on a little bit, but it's still not a massive change. I feel like, I wonder what they thought of if they made it 9 to 8. Like, why didn't they think that was necessary?
That's what they did last time.
What, 10 to 9?
Yeah.
Why not
keep going? What if they did 9 to 5?
I mean change the first from not 9 second duration, but 8 second, and make it go from 8 to 5 rather than 9 to 5.
Well, right now it goes 9 to 6. So I was
Okay, it
saying,
goes
what
9
if
to
you
6.
made it go? What if you made it go 9 to 5, in addition to the 90-second cooldown?
Yeah, so late game BKB is super bad. But I feel like the issue's not really late game. I think the issue's the first instances of BKB are really strong because you're buying it first item because it's so high impact at minute
I'd
20.
probably be fine with it. Just shift it over from 8 to 5 instead of 9 to 6.
Yeah.
Hit it at both ends.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't think that was necessary.
Well, yeah, because you can't make spell... If you nerf BKB too hard, then spell damage becomes insane. But then you probably end up buying more pipes if that's the case, but pipe is really prohibitively expensive now.
It's funny that there was a period when...
Yeah, there was a period where pipe was like
the
also,
thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's buying hoods.
So the recipe's the recipe's like 5k now.
Yeah.
I mean, the recipe's so
it's
expensive. It used to be like 600.
It feels as bad as like buying Guardian Greaves to buy a pipe.
Yeah, the recipe is absolutely insane. There was a period of about 5 patches where it went up like 100 to 200 every patch. But yeah, there was a period where pipe was just like auto win, or you had to get one. It's interesting the Black King bar. Not to like harp on about it a lot, but like, why is it so good? It's not because the item itself is that good. Do you think? Part of me feels like it's that teams in the pro scene, particularly, are so good at holding on to leads. Like thinking about when we went to Stockholm, there wasn't that many comebacks, and teams were really good at making a small lead become a bigger lead and like choking the map and stuff. And so, how do you get a small lead? You you go for you don't worry about scaling as much, and instead you go for like an insanely early, really peaking power spike, and Black King bar is that item. So you just get like BKB first on whatever, all your cores.
Yeah, you hit just this destroy supports.
Yeah, you hit this insane 20-minute. Yeah, this 20-minute timing, and then you get a small lead from that, and like, well done. The enemy team maybe got like a small scaling item before Black King bar. It doesn't matter because now you're like choking the map. And now you're winning. So, and you just don't let that go. So it's interesting one, like theoretically, on the BKB.
Yeah. The game is too balanced around it. Like, it is a tenuous tightrope to walk with the item. For sure. Like maybe, sorry. I was going to say, if you hit it so hard on the durations, maybe you make it cheaper. But I don't know if you want to make it cheaper because it's scary. Yeah, there was a time when it was like $37.50. Now it's $40.50.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways.
Speaking of items that you buy every game, Wraith Pact, model size increased by 50, attacks to destroy reduced from 5 to 4, gold bounty increased from 20 to 100, and when it casts, it will automatically follow the caster.
So that last one is a nice quality of life thing, I think.
Yeah, but you can still control it, right? It's just it will follow you if you don't. Yeah.
It is pretty big now. It's like hilariously big compared to the old one. I wonder how much of its effectiveness was tied to how small it was.
Because I think you didn't know it was going on. I don't think you recognized it in a fight.
Also, because it's so new, it was a combination of it being small and like no one's programmed to think about it.
Yeah.
There's too many like spell effects going on. It's kind of a subtle pulse, and it kind of like blends in. Maybe more so on Radiant, like the pulse on the ground.
I've still never bought the item.
Oh, it's awesome. It's really. I mean, it's less good now. I think gold bounty is meh, but that's a huge attacks to destroy. It's like 5 to 4. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But it's very effective. Big damage swing.
Yeah. Anything else we want to say on items before we move on to heroes?
We no longer buy salves for our carries. We give them tangos.
Yeah, so that makes me think...
I missed that.
That makes me think the carry should buy a salve now, and then rather than the carry buy 3 tangos. Yeah, just ferry tangos.
Throw tangos.
You have a salve yourself rather than 3 tangos, and then you mass tangos from the support, and you're Gucci.
Yeah. I mean, it is less. It costs less now. So that's good if you're going to use it on yourself.
Yeah.
I can't think of a scenario where... I mean, the only scenario where you give this to somebody now is when you dig it up from a shovel.
Yeah.
Because it's like 200 HP or something. It's not worth 100 gold for a support to get. I haven't done the math. I don't know what 3 tangos is, but it's more than 200. So probably going to, like you say, we flip this around. We buy salves for ourselves and supports. I don't think you come to lane with 9, but you definitely come to lane with 6, and you're probably giving them to your carry at first.
I think, honestly, there'll be games where the people have got 9, and it's not.
Yeah, it might be right.
Outrageous. Because, yeah. It's an interesting one. Fine, whatever, not crazy. The ones I would quickly mention. So I bought a couple Lincoln Spheres recently, last few days, and they have been high value. Wow, what pickups Lincoln Sphere is when it's the right game for it. Holy schmoly, so sick. So kind of sad to see it get nerfed a little bit. 12 seconds did feel pretty good. 14 seconds, a bit sad. And then the other one I'd mentioned, so I don't know if you saw like a week ago, Sumail had been grinding ranked and was on a 70%, if not 80% win rate in solo rank and was flying up the ranks. So from Dota Pro Tracker, I think it was 70% win rate with like 100 plus games grinding day in, day out mid, just stomping the highest level pubs. So everyone was like, shit, Sumail's trying hard because he just joined Nigma and all this. I watched the video where Fear was looking at some of his Lesh games because he had a 7 or 8 win streak on Lesh, and then I think he met Gork and lost. Kappa, no Kappa. But he was crushing it on Lesh, and I think people, even Gork, had been like, yeah, Lesh is shit now, or whatever. Sumail's like, nah, none of this. I'm playing Lesh mid. And often he would get Eternal Shroud, so Hood into Eternal Shroud for kind of tankiness and good kind of stats. He would always build... I think he started off with Yules, but then he kind of moved into Eternal Shroud. He'd basically get Eternal Shroud or Yules, kind of defensive item first, and then follow it with a Kaya Sanj, then a Travels. So anyway, Eternal Shroud has been buffed, 5% more magic res, and then the cooldown on the active, 15 seconds shorter, so 2 pretty significant buffs. They're not minor.
What's the active on this spell again? Like, you get spell
it gives you mana
turn
back
into
when
mana
you take damage. So
To
it's like the
400?
ultimate Lesh item.
I think it's 400 damage you absorb, and then you get that back in mana.
Interesting, cool.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, so it's
it's something
super,
like that.
Something like that. Super Leshy item like magic resistance. You're running around.
It's just more pulses.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of interesting to see that. Very, very good for the Lesh, but otherwise, yeah.
Fair enough. Talk to me about these heroes then. Where are we looking here? I've had a cursory glance through when the patch came out, and I've seen some things, but I probably missed a fair few as well.
So my first pass through reading, and then talking with the NA guys after. Level 1 hoof stomp is a 2-second stun.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I was just like, whoa, that's a big buff. Goes from 1.6 to 2 at level 1 for Centaur. So
yeah.
That's huge.
And it's a 0.1 seconds longer at max. I guess it gets buffed at all stages.
That value
so
point is... Oh.
Yeah. It's 2.2 at level 2, so I don't know what the builds are now.
Well, the build was already value point. So now it's just even better. Originally, you were just going Q level 1 and then just maxing your retaliate with like maybe a value point in W at like 4 or something. And that basically was the build. Now it's just, you do the same thing, it's just even better.
Yeah, your value point is somewhere in between the level of, like it's a level 2.5 hoof stomp now at level 1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So... yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the hero was okay. I consider that to be like a big buff. Like a significant buff. For just one line.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. For sure, yeah. Just because it fits what the hero like already does, so it's pretty perfect. What were you looking out for, Marco? You said some of your heroes got a nice little buff.
So, I mean, yeah, there's quite a few changes, but I feel like a lot of them are either boring, insignificant, like Alk, Shard mana cost down 25, like, wake me up, who cares? And then I do feel like Centaur, first one you come across, that's, maybe I've got bias towards being a Centaur honorary player, but it is a decent number change. Chaos Knight I don't care about, but glad to see nerf. Chaos Bolt damage down, lifesteal down, fine. We've had enough of Chaos Knight, I think everyone would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Maiden spells both improve, interesting. I think the Darkseer, unless you want to say CM.
No,
yeah,
I
I mean,
say anything.
I was gonna say CM before on her now. If you don't pass over the Crystal Lady.
I mean, there are very minor changes, but the fact it's 2 minor to her 2 big spells, it's like, yeah.
I
decent.
think the spells are big changes, I think. But, see, this is what it's like to be a support player. You get the little crumbs, and you're like, oh my god. I mean, we're talking 50 cast range on Frostbite, so 550 to 600, and we're talking half a second longer slow on Crystal Nova, 4.5 to 5. I mean, I think those are big, but that's something that if you had to play the hero a lot to feel it. Like, Frostbite is probably the bigger one, maybe, because it's good lockdown, and if you're going to have the least amount of strength and not a lot of move speed, every bit of cast range is what you're banking on. And then it is so at level 4, Crystal Nova is a 50% move slow. A 5-second 50% AoE move slow is pretty strong. Especially with if you go those other talents where you have even lower cooldown on Crystal Nova.
You're right, they are so incremental, but I agree that they do make a difference. And if you're thinking a lane, Crystal Nova slow, half a second more, that's an extra right click, maybe a couple extra. If you think about like a Jug chasing someone with a spin, it's just that incremental bit extra value that could then be the difference from a kill. That Frostbite, like right, trying to get in range, someone's TPing away, incrementally bigger now. It does add up, those little crumbs,
it's worth
like you say.
The 20 HP.
Loss of 20 HP. It's kind of harsh, that. Like, why is that just like a I hate my life in CM, get one less strength?
We cannot buff the CM without taking something in return. That's just what it is.
Was that necessary?
You either get dinged 5 movement speed, or you get less armor,
Yeah, it's so weird. These minor changes
HP.
like that. Is it just like a dev that goes, fuck it, you just reduce strength by 1, and then it just like
I don't understand.
No one vetoes it, so it just gets in the game.
I think a weirder one is the next one, Darkseer, base Agi, so it's not strength
who
or
decides
int.
this stuff?
Base Agi for Darkseer, 18 to 19. That's like
a sixth of an armor, 1 attack speed.
Like, what? How is that decision
I mean,
made?
that has to have something to do with the punch, right? But it's so minuscule.
How can it have anything to do with anything? It's such a weird one.
So random. But with Darkseer, I do think I feel like I'm getting hooked up on a lot of these marginal, but I do think of somewhat value changes. Say the vacuum damage 40 to 100 at level 1.
Well, it's beautiful because you only, again, like Centaurs, you already get 1 point in vacuum for most of the game because you level it at like 2, and then you don't touch it again until like level 11. That's like the normal build.
That's a decent bit of damage.
So that's just 60. That's 60 damage for a good chunk of not only the laning stage but also the early game.
So that's like CS secure, even just damage output in early game fight. 60. It's not. It's something. It's a good amount.
And Vacuum's a big AoE, like a decent AoE, so it's not just CS secure, it's CS secure plus harass, like in one. Again, it's like the dream, it's like Lena or something, you know, secure the range creep and damage opponent.
Yeah.
Like, in one.
At one point in time, you do 40 damage to the enemy, they don't notice it, but now you do, here's 100 damage, like you say in that CS secure scenario. That is now significant, it's notable, so... Yeah. Not that I want to see darks here, but it definitely is decent value. Same with the Willow. I think the W, I don't know what the skill build is on the 4 Willow, but to have a 6-second shorter cooldown at level 1, or 4 seconds at level 2 for this Shadow Realm, which is your stay alive kind of semi-outplay spell, I feel like that's pretty strong.
Yeah, what is the build for Dark Willow these days? You get 1-1-1, right? But then after that, I actually don't know. You just max.
I reckon you max W.
You think so?
I feel like the Bramble doesn't scale that impressively, whereas the W is a lot of damage and you get better cooldown.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's one of those heroes. You probably do whatever you want, honestly. Like, I feel like the E is the only one you're not that bothered by, but you want a value point in it.
Yeah.
But you can probably do some weird stuff like 2-2-1.
I had a funny James Pos 4 interaction in a game recently. So who was I? I think it could have been a Pudge. And you Dark Will hook someone with doing a gank web, hook them, eating them. In my head I'm like, yeah, I've landed this hook, I've got Will next to me, we're in dangerous deep enemy territory, it needs to be killing out, pronto. In my head I'm like, alarm bells going off. After a moment I'm like, use your ult. What are you doing? Use your ult. I've just hooked and eaten the enemy carry. We need to kill and get out. He starts winding up Terrorize. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Use your other ult. And he was like, oh shit, I forgot this one does damage.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was a funny kill. Might try and find it.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's funny.
I've got another one. A lot of minor changes. I think it's an interesting patch, particularly supports Dazzle, Poison Hex, what's it called? Poison Touch. Why are we buffing that? Why is that getting buffed? 2 seconds? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Of all the things, you're buffing the thing that's already OP.
Yeah.
You need to make the rest of his kit better, not buff that more.
I would not have guessed that goes up. We all know how strong that shard is. Multiple hexes. Now 2 seconds. Fucking hell. That's a long time to be hexed from afar.
Yeah. Yeah.
For no gold. The one I wanted to... So, I feel like I've got a lot of heroes I play. Disruptor, like I said, POS 5 ranked gameplay. Static Storm 5 to 6 seconds duration. That's just 200 MMR to me right there in one line.
Yeah. Plus 200 MMR.
Can't argue with that.
Just instant MMR. That's a long time. Honestly, I love the Disruptor. You know how much I bash the play potential, but 6 seconds all silence it's really something.
Yeah. I'm looking at a pretty nasty... Well, it's only 10 seconds, but I feel like reducing the demonic conversion cooldown on Enigma is actually pretty grim. It just hurts his laning even more, 10 more seconds at level 1.
Of waiting around.
Yeah, 7 more seconds at level 2, just yeah. Because the hero relies so heavily on demonic conversion in the lane. It's absolutely massive. So that is a big cooldown increase. It's not some trivial, mid-game, you only care about the cooldown when you're up and running mid-game, 10 seconds, whatever. It's no, this is a spell you're using off cooldown, the whole laning stage. So that's really nasty, I think.
To backpedal, Earthshaker might be a bit of a gimmick, but the mid Earthshaker, I don't know if it's more important for mid or support, but you used to play mid Earthshaker and you needed, I think, 2 levels of Aftershock to be able to have a chain stun combo with ult, fissure, enchant because of cast time on your spells. That level 1 Aftershock used to be insufficient, but now level 1 Aftershock is as good as level 2 in the past. Yeah. I think that makes a big difference to the hero. I think that makes it decent bit stronger. I don't know if it is irrelevant because it's too small and minor, but as a mid shaker, it could be really good for like one game in 100.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it means that you don't have to get another point in it, then that is really good, for sure. Scrolling down these heroes, is there anything else that we want to mention?
I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Now, I feel like we can jump and come back and stuff.
I'm surprised Kotl didn't get nerfed more. The Kotl damage reduction, on Illuminate. So, I mean, every game we saw of Kotl, absolute stomp. I mean, Kotl just looks like crazy strong when it's played by pros and Kotl players.
Do you reckon, though? Because I feel like it's bad. I feel like when we saw it, it just crushed and was top net worth and then lost.
Crushed and then dropped. That happened one game, true, but I saw way more games where it.
We saw it lose a couple times in Stockholm. We saw 9 lose of it, and then we saw Armel lose of it. But then we also saw in the group stage and in the main event before we got there, it was just winning games for fun. So
yeah, I've seen it look very strong and impressive. So this nerf, like 15 damage less, level 1. It's kind of like, who cares? But maybe the stats say Kotl actually is shit, and I don't know. But yeah.
And I was happy to see Lena stack duration increase by 3 seconds.
That's another one to see on my menu. That is what a buff. I'm Lena in the rank tomorrow. Honestly, 3 more seconds. What's that? 3 out of 15, 20%, 20% longer duration.
Buffed? Why? That is insane already.
Oh, that is a lot more time to have uptime on 7 souls. Oh.
It's also really nice for support Lena as well, because you get a point in it to harass more, and it just lasts longer. You know, in the lane, it's pretty beautiful. And it's just beautiful at all stages of the game. It's just good.
It's so sad when it's ticking out and then you just fail to keep it going.
Yeah,
and like split second later, you back to 1 charge or something. So having that 3 extra seconds is juicy.
Was there one you were gonna point out, Adam, somewhere?
Well, I'd keep with the trend of supports just loving crumbs. I like the Lich change. 30 less mana at max on Frostblast. Doesn't sound like a lot, but Lich has no mana pool and a 7-second nuke cooldown, which can be 4 seconds if you take the cost reduction. So you got to kind of take the 30 and multiply it. You can get 3 or 4 of those off in a fight a lot of the times. So it actually kind of adds up. You probably get an extra Frost Blast out of a team fight now.
Oh, nice. Take those. One thing I want to mention, so once again, Meepo nowhere to be seen, even though the hero's absolute trash, which is sad, but there's no love for Meepo. Here's what I don't understand is, it would annoy me less that Meepo doesn't get touched if there weren't changes like DS getting 1 agility change. Because if there's like the manpower, brain power to be giving like 1 agi to DS, why is there not the manpower, brain power to see a hero that's unpickable in pros, has a terrible win rate in pubs, and is just rubbish, and just to give it something? And instead, we have the LC talent, which is already the bane of all Meepo players. The overwhelming odds damage per hero, which is at 15. Now that's buffed to 100, which seems insignificant, and it probably is, but against Meepo, it's like unbelievably good. So rip Meepo players. I'll have to put Meepo away for another few months. I just wanted to shout that one out.
I think they're just, if they don't even put it in the gameplay update, people will forget it exists.
Yeah. I think they have forgotten it exists, honestly.
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe have a word on Marcy? The hero's in Captain's Mode. A 10-second nerf to the cooldown of the ult Unleash at all levels, and also the throw distance reduced by 50, and fixed some issue with enemies being able to cast spells for a frame before being stunned.
I think the ult was buffed.
Oh, decreased by 10 seconds. Yeah, the ult was buffed, sorry. So yeah, it's 10 seconds less cooldown at all levels. Do we expect the hero to be good in CM? Or...
We will see. I don't imagine it will be a core.
No, it's not going to be a core.
But I wouldn't mind seeing some support suplexes.
Yeah, I think movement ability, both offensive and defensive. Although 300 now, not 350.
Of course they had to nerf it. Of course they had to nerf it when they finally put her in.
Yeah. It's probably still going to have some appearance, you'd think, you'd hope. We got that E buffer damage lifesteal spell as well on the support mask. She has strength, right? So one of the values is she can fly in and tank. She's not like a paper. She can fly in, get spells off, and soak, and still survive.
A little bit, yeah.
And that survivability is really value on supports. So yeah, it'd be cool to see her. Yeah. I think it's kind of boring that she's not core. I don't think she's strong enough to be a core. And her spells are too niche. Has to be support. I think that's boring. Maybe I'll be proved wrong, but you don't want to see her as a core.
Not really, no. I don't like the old as a core. Like, I don't want to see.
Douche. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Annoying in general.
Yeah.
Mark, are you happy to see the Pangolier shard?
Oh my
reduction
God!
From 4 to 2.7.
That is for a D patch. That's a big number change. 1.25 seconds less on roll up. Holy schmoly, that feels good. I mean, it could be better. Like the ultimate could be removed, but it's still something.
Yeah. Becomes the ultimate roll up.
Trending in the right direction.
It's in the right direction. Yeah, because 4 seconds. That's just like, because then all your cooldowns reset. 4 seconds, like I can't touch you.
Yeah.
Or it feels like I can't touch you. So yeah, good.
Nice. Anywhere else that we're looking before
Pudge. Down to the
Pudge. Yeah, I wanted to play Pudge in my game last night, first game of the patch, but it got banned because we both tried to pick it. So I was pretty excited about it. 3 base damage.
He already has
Vanguard
insane
damage
base
block.
damage.
I mean, that damage block has... I mean, 3 damage, yeah, very nice. But the damage block at 4, going from 20 to 28...
Yeah, I said, guys, I am picking Pudge. I am maxing Flesh Heap. That is the build that I'm going to go, so just be prepared.
And maybe...
And that's still what I want to do.
I'll skip that game, but... I don't think that's the build, but I do think... Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's interesting, though. So that old one at level 20, if you have a hood, I think you don't take damage... Well, I'm pretty certain you don't take damage from rot anyway. With a hood and 20 damage block, because all damage types are being blocked. So 28, it's interesting to think, well, what damage is it actually blocking? Because I guess it's just... How many instances of damage are you taking in a fight? It's kind of hard to know what that number is. Is it like you take 10 instances of damage? Do you take like 50?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because all these rot ticks, I don't think change because they were being blocked pre-buff. But yeah, like how many right clicks would you take in a fight? I'm not really sure. So maybe it feels like a more crazy change than it actually is.
Does it stack with Vanguard?
Maybe.
Or did you see that clip of Gork trying to buy a Vanguard today?
No, I might to watch.
So it must stack because otherwise he wouldn't buy it.
Okay.
So that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Is Pudge going to be good enough to make a return to the pro scene? Because there have been times where Pudge 3 was good. You know, that was a max Flesh Heap.
Yeah, because it used to give you like really sick HP regen and strength, and it was, really made you powerful in the lane. I don't think it's definitely not back at that level.
Mm-hmm.
So I played quite a bit of Pudge recently. The fact that I think the laning is still too precarious for it to be in a pro game, I think.
Right.
Like,
Pudge 4 just feels out of the question.
Yeah, nothing's changed there. That's never been viable, never will. Yeah. I do feel like in genuine games, the difficulty is you're not fundamentally strong, you're low armor, you have to put yourself deep to get right clicks, and you got really no recourse and all this kind of stuff. So it is still tough, but
I feel like with the Shard, it wouldn't take that much for Pudge support to be playable, because the Shard is so good.
If you gave Pudge like 20 MS buff, it could be broken. It might be something like that, like as simple as that.
Speaking of OP shards, it's good to see that Valve comprehensively dealt with Gale Force. Oh wait, they didn't. It's still exactly the same. The push speed is reduced from 250 to 240, so round of applause for Valve.
Is that noticeable? 10 less.
It's not noticeable at all.
Have they got like typo? It should have been like
to 24. They added a 0 accidentally.
Like 140. So what? 10 less speed.
That's insane. Yeah, it's still insane.
So yeah, I don't get it.
Soul Assumption nerf is kind of annoying for Visage. It's 5 per charge, and you're going to have like a lot of charges when you use it, if you're using it well. And also you're spamming it on an insanely low cooldown. So actually this, even though it's 5 damage, it's going to be like 20 per spell usage, and you're going to be using it a ton. So that adds up a lot, I think. So that actually is quite grim for Visage. That which I'm happy, because, you know, Visage is annoying. Anything else we want to mention here before we wrap up? Any other heroes? We're happy. Happy to play some Dotes. Next week we'll have some reviews. See if anything's noticeable. See if Marco's played any rounds.
Disruptor.
Get the Disruptor out,
it should be. You should be 200, right?
I'll win 6 games in a row. 7-game win streak. Disruptor coming up.
Yeah. Actually, can I just... I know I said we're wrapping up, but Terrorblade gets 15 more damage during meta at level 1.
Decent, that, yeah.
That is pretty... It's pretty nice, We're going to have to see another Adam Terrorblade. I feel like he's the only one that plays TB, weirdly, out of us 3.
Oh, yeah, TB.
Yeah.
I don't know why I hate TB so much, but...
And some of that is 5.
Yeah. It's weird, though, that you hate... Well, it's not weird that you hate TB, but I feel like a lot of pro POS 1s actually love a TB. You know, like a lot of POS 1s, I feel like it's their go-to hero, and they just like love playing it. Like RTZ, like Arme, they just play TB on there, and even in their streams, they just play TB all the time.
Too hard to coordinate with a party for some reason.
Oh, what, your Adam's TB or TB in general?
TB, POS 1, like loads of carries love
no, yeah, but
TB.
When Adam says too hard to coordinate party.
Oh.
That's for me.
Because I think there have been games where Adam was TB and like no, everyone refused to play with him. And he just died on his own like 5 times in a row. And then we'd go and die, like 4 of us, and be like clueless. Oh my god.
That's basically what that's exactly what I was experiencing in Sane, because I'd much rather throw me a snoozy Naga and I can 1v9 that, because I don't have to play with anybody. But the TB, you actually should team up.
Mm-mm. TB's a weird hero. I've always felt like it's not as straightforward to make work, but yet in pro games it seems like the most straightforward POS 1 in the game. And yet you pick it in unranked party or just unranked games, and sometimes it feels like, you're popping meta and they just run away, or like how do you, unless it's a siege situation, like how are you actually doing things? And then the hero farms fast, yes, but like does it really? And then you also just get one shot by spells all game. It's just like it's kind of it's not as straightforward as picking like an Ursa or a Sven, where you sort of know exactly what you want to be doing. Anyway, we'll be back next week with another app and some games and maybe even some ranks. We'll have to see. And until then, have a final whistle.